I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they busted your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the field, and go from chinging on a manapia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art is an art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
Good evening. It's a great evening. Welcome back to Drone Brews. It is Wednesday. It is the very first Drone Brews of, I believe, the new year. Maybe it's not the first Drone Brews of the new year. Maybe it's the second Drone Brews. Maybe this will be the first Drone Brews that I don't screw up. But with that being said, let's get started. Let's go ahead and first, let's greet the chat. I see we got B-Man, FPV, Quadcopters Intact, Maddie's Drone World. I always fuck this up. King Keck, the channel. I don't know. He'll correct it again. He's corrected me once. He'll correct me twice. Fly High FPV. We've got Texas Arc Drone Guy. New England Dronalist. Let's see, you got Eddie's here. Of course, Eddie's here. Dead Chicken FPV. We've got Johnny Drone Flyer. Let's see who else is here. We got Jared Spink. Got Novice Quads. How's it going? Sean G Life. Intel Maxwell Multi-Rotors. Joseph is here. We got Ariel Sean. Joe Fotolio. What's good? All right, let's go ahead and bring Mr. Eduardo Nunez in. Eduardo Nunez. What are you drinking there, Ed? What are you drinking, buddy?
This is the finest drink you can drink in New York.
Pepsi.
Hennessy.
Oh, Hennessy. I was one to see off.
Mm-hmm.
Good, man. Good for you. A little cognac. Cognac. Is that what they call it? You're looking dapper tonight, man.
Really? I need a haircut.
Christmas tree is not in the backdrop there. It's all, looking all dapper and stuff.
Christmas
I am drinking Starbucks. Us white people call this Starbucks. A little pinky
love
up.
Starbucks. You love.
Yeah,
Starbucks.
I need it a little pick me up tonight. We got a lot of work to do. We got some filming to accomplish, so I figure coffee is probably my best method of attack here this evening. I came back from Las Vegas with supplies, obviously.
Oh, supplies.
I came back from Las Vegas with things, friends. Yes.
Oh.
So it helps me sleep. It helps me sleep, and I got to tell you, the past 2 nights I have slept like a freaking champ since I've been back. I've been getting some Z's in, that's for damn sure. So I am very well rested. I'm feeling excellent, which I haven't really felt like I've slept super super well. But yeah, I'm definitely sleeping pretty good. We got a lot to recap. We're going to talk about CES. We'll talk a little bit about the new update to the air units, because I think that's huge news right now. And then DJI put out another gimbal, of course.
Yes.
And, Let's start off with CES first.
Okay.
CES. Oh, man. If you are a drone fan, if you are somebody who loves drones, you probably would not like CES. It was abysmal, to say the least, when it comes to drones. The only manufacturer that I was able to locate on the show floor was Autel. That was it. That was absolutely it. It was a ghost town when it came to drones. If you were interested in electric vehicles, plenty of that. If you were
Wow.
interested in virtual reality, plenty of that. If you were interested in 3D printing, there was some of that. There was some of that. There was some 3D printer stuff. Not a whole lot. And I felt like the entire event was sort of sprawled across everywhere. Like it was sprawled across a bunch of different buildings, which was sort of, disappointing, I guess,
Yeah.
So
So this year in CES, Autel was the only booth there. Is what
that
you're
was
saying.
it. That was the only booth when it came to drones. And they did bring something new, right? They did bring the
Yeah.
Autel Evo Max, which is a definite, upgrade for Autel. They are bringing some new technology. But as far as consumers goes, there is nothing new on the consumer side. And I
Wow.
don't know if we'll see
What,
anything new from them on the consumer side either.
what about FPV? I know last year there was an FPV company there, right? Wasn't
No,
HD0 there last year?
Orca was there.
Okay.
The Orca was not there. So Orca was actually moving buildings. I talked to Orca not too long ago because we were trying to get some situation resolved for the affiliate account, and apparently they were moving buildings. So they were actually changing offices and whatnot. I don't know if it's expansion or whatever, but they weren't there. Last year when they were at CES, they did debut, or they had dummy units of their digital system, but we haven't seen anything else. Now, they claim that they are still working on that digital system, but one would question whether or not it's a smart move to continue on down that path, because
Yeah.
let's think about it. Can 4 digital systems really survive?
That's
I don't
too
think
much.
so. I think
No, it's
even
too much.
3 is too much. I think what's
Yeah.
going to end up happening, we're going to be narrowed down to 2 digital systems. And I think the digital systems that will survive, if you ask me, will be the DJI digital system and the HD0 digital system. Because I think the walk snail system falls too close to the original DJI system, while the new digital system is so far to the left of things and so, HD and clear. And then on the
Yeah.
right-hand side of that, you have HD0, which still appeals to a lot of the analog guys. And because they're doing a lot of crowdfunding type of stuff and, they're really in tune to the community, I think that still appeals to the guys that are going to eventually need to break away from analog. But that's their next best solution would be HD0. So I think those are going to be the only 2. I
Got
just
it.
really don't see a 4th system surviving at
Yeah.
all. So
So going back to like the Autel booth, I mean, I saw your video that you put out. It looks like they had a lot of the enterprise drones that they already have out there, right?
yeah, they're really pushing that enterprise realm, man.
Yeah. I saw they had the cool I don't know what you call that box where like the drone slides out of or something, right?
Yeah, so
That,
they literally just call it the box. You're talking about the
Oh,
thing
okay.
that holds that's the dragging fish box.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
The
more
thing
like
is massive.
it's more of a garage, to
huge.
be completely honest with you. That's more of a
Yeah, it's
garage.
huge. Yeah, it's huge based on like the video
Yeah,
that you share.
it's huge, and it's all inclusive. It changes the batteries, keeps it warm. Yeah, I mean it does quite a bit, realistically.
Yeah.
And then they do have a smaller one, which they're calling the Autel Nest, which the Autel Nest can support the Evo Lite, the Autel Evo, the Evo Thermal, Enterprise. So, I mean, it can support a wide array of the drones that Autel does sell. But that's the Nest, which is a little bit smaller. It almost looks like a barbecue in a sense, the way it sits there. But that one was functioning and working. I don't know. I mean, docking stations are relatively new. I think they're going to become much more prevalent as, automation and drones become more of a normalized thing. I think right now a lot of people are still like, drone automation. I'm not really sure about that. We're already starting to see the pushback when it comes to drone deliveries. Right now, obviously, people in Glendale, Arizona, they're waking up. They're to all these Walmart drone deliveries, and they're freaking out. They're not happy about it. They just weren't ready for it. And that's the problem, is the general public hasn't been educated well enough to understand these things that are happening right now. And they're just sort of losing their minds. I think most drone guys probably be walking out their house with their cup of coffee, look up and be like,
Yeah.
there's Walmart delivering, and go back in the house like it's nothing, like no big deal, deal. But your average Joe is just gonna be like, what the hell is going on? The sky is falling type of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What about that Max drone? The Max that they announced there.
Yeah, so
was that a fully functioning unit there? Like,
yeah,
that was
it is fully it is fully functioning. I must have asked him like 3 times off camera if it was fully functioning, and they did show me. So it is an interesting drone. So first off, it is the first of its kind that can do hot swappable batteries. So on board there is an incubator battery. I don't know how big it is, but think of it like it's enough to keep the ESC and flight controller powered, so you can swap out a battery, put a new battery in, and you don't lose any of your satellites, and you're basically ready to take off. So it's hot swappable. I think that is awesome. I would love to see that tech to come over into consumer drones. So it has that going for it. And then, of course, the payload is interesting because now they've made it to where you can swap the gimbal out with just 2 screws. So you take 2 screws off, and you basically unplug the entire camera, and you grab your new payload, you pop your new payload in, bolt down 2 screws, and you're operational again, which is pretty nuts.
That is sick.
So on a drone that size. So that is pretty interesting. And the payload they had on there has supported a telephoto lens, a wide angle lens, a laser rangefinder, and then of course a thermal camera, and that was 640 by 512 on the resolution. So pretty standard stuff there, I think.
What's the flight time, did they say?
Oddly enough, they didn't discuss the flight time. I would venture that it's probably around the 45 to 50 minute mark, just seeing how big that battery is.
Yeah, the battery was chunky.
The battery was huge.
Yeah,
huge. I think it was like 6,900 milliamps or something. I don't know. Wow. I had the battery. I had a close up of the battery. So if you go back to that video, you look at the close up of it, you'll be able to see the milliamps on the battery. But that was one thing that eluded me, because I let John do all the talking. I guess he overlooked the battery, the flight time, which I guess I could have asked him, but I was just letting him do the talking and show me what you want me to see, I guess, type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, they did have an impressive showing. They were like I said, they were the only drone company there. So I did see they won best of show for drones, but I mean, it's easy competition when you're the only one playing the game. Of course, you're going to win. So I mean, file that under honorable mention, I suppose.
Now, I heard that Skydio may have had something there.
I got to tell you, Skydio. So when the Autel booth was here, and according to the interactive map, if I would have walked alongside Skydio or walked alongside of Autel and hung an immediate left, Skydio was supposed to be right there. Now, when I walked over there, I did not see a booth from them. There was a vacant spot, like a booth was supposed to be there, but there was no booth. So my only guess is that the fact that they weren't actually at CES. Maybe I know they won a Best of Show award from a CES, like a CES Invention Award for the Skydio S2, but I did not actually see them. There was nobody there that I could actually interact with or ask any questions. I thought for sure they would have had the dock there. I'm not really sure. So little weird. I mean, maybe I missed it entirely, but I looked up and down. I didn't see him. I went through the show floor day one. I mean, just basically looking for drones. That's all I did. Was after I went to the Autel booth and got that video done, I literally went there and just started looking up and down for companies, and I really didn't see anything. Geeks Fauna says Skydio, we're in a hospitality suite. Now, I did see the hospitality suite, but the hospitality suite was basically just for meetings. It wasn't like an event. Like, there wasn't actually anything being on display. It was just a hospitality event. So I went through there too. I did see where they did have a couple of vendors that weren't on the show floor, but they did have hospitality suites but there was nothing really going on there. Not worth filming anyways. So, but yeah, it was weird. Very weird.
It's a. So I think I think like COVID has transitioned a lot of things, including probably like CES. Like, would you go back to CES?
I'm going to be completely real with you. I think I'm done with CES just as a whole. So first off, let's start off with the fact that the things that I am interested in aren't really there. So 3D printing, they had some 3D printing. They had maybe like, I counted on my hand 6 companies that did 3D printing, right? None of these companies I would ever buy anything from. One of them I would, but it's like hella expensive to buy anything and it just takes up a lot of space. The drone stuff is dissipated. There's barely any camera companies there, right? I care a lot about cameras and camera tech and things of that nature. That stuff doesn't really exist at CES. CES is more for like the consumer electronic, right? It's like IoT stuff. Like I will say the Amazon booth was probably the most interesting. The Ring doorbell stuff was was some of the most interesting stuff that I saw there. Like that to me was pretty interesting, but it's not enough for where I would spend 3 or 4 days. I think the problem with me, and when it comes to Vegas, I spend too much time there, and I get exhausted very quickly, and I get burnt out. Like when I go to Vegas, I'm not like I know a lot of people think you go there, you go to party, but I want to get in, do what I got to do, and get out as quickly as I possibly can. Like I want to get in, get out. I have a mission when I go to Vegas, and I want to get in and get out. I didn't give a shit about the electric vehicles. I just didn't give a fuck about them, So I don't care. Business. Like I am going to rock out my my gas vehicle for a long, long time. There's nothing beats the smell of that. So
now you did get to fly though, right? At least.
Yeah. We went to Lon and I drove out to California. We drove over to Lake Dolores water park, that abandoned water park. I gotta say, beautiful spot to fly if you had an FPV drone. I did not bring any FPV drones with me. I was kicking myself. I was literally kicking myself as I was walking around there because it was just prime real estate to fly the Avata, prime real estate to fly whatever. It's 2.5 hours away from Vegas.
Why didn't you bring? You typically bring at least one quad, maybe the Avata, maybe the FPV drone.
I'll be completely honest with you. I thought that CES was going to be busier. I thought I really thought that there was going to be so much that I needed to see that
you wouldn't have time.
That I would not have had time to fly. That's what I thought. I really thought that it was just going to be. Hang on a second, Eddie.
Mm-hmm. You hear all that funny noises in the background?
The printer's making me a little nervous, man.
Yeah, I hear it.
Dude, it's just ripping along, man. I mean, you know what it is that I'm looking at it. I'm watching the app here on the dashboard, and it said that the temperature was 230 Celsius. And I'm like, wow, that can't be right for printing PLA. But I think it's just because it's going so fast that it heats it up a lot more than something like an Ender. So that thing is just ripping, man. Just absolutely blistering fast. I can't believe it. I'm so happy about that damn thing. But yeah, I think I just thought that there was more to do. And then, you blow through the show floor in one day and you're like, okay, well, there's really not that much here to actually see that like I'm interested in. Everybody has different priorities when it comes to what's important. Like if I cared more of like the EV or the IoT stuff, then I probably would have spent more time on the show floor. I think if I ever go back, it's got to be because I transitioned my content to something else.
Yeah. Now, I noticed that Sony was there.
They did. They brought the AirPeak.
They brought the AirPeak. Okay, because I saw a video, but it was more about some battery hub thing or something like that. I don't know.
Here's my thing. Screw Sony, man, when it comes to the AirPeak. Like the AirPeak, I've now heard from two independent people that have gotten a chance to fly the AirPeak, like non-biased people. And these are people that are fans of Sony. And one of my friends got a chance to get it in hand for review. And he turned around and said to me, he goes, dude, I was actually afraid to fly my FX3 on the air peak. He goes, I was actually petrified. He goes, it's a piece of crap. He goes, it's a piece of crap. So I think that's the reason why we really haven't seen the air peak in the hands of other professionals, other creatives, because they are, I really, this is what I think. I think they are afraid of an honest opinion on that. I really do.
Interesting enough, they had a demo here, which I didn't attend, but they had a demo here in New York City, which was open to anyone who wanted to register.
Yeah.
I know a few people that went, and they did not allow. So it was at an AMA field where you can fly drones, but they did not allow anyone to like fly the drone or like even like test out the controls.
Yeah.
Whereas like DJI, right, when they did those previous like events in
They
New
let
York
us
City,
all fly them. They let us all fly them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's something really wrong. The biggest thing that I've heard from people when it comes to the air peak is there's a lot of latency. So I again, personally, I haven't flown it, so I don't know. And when I watch the videos, you don't really get you don't get a good read on what the drone can do, right? Like it's sort of weird. Like I feel like there's information being shielded when it comes to the air peak specifically. So that's something that is disheartening, and it's one of the reasons why I would never consider an air peak. Like I wouldn't take the risk on that. One, the battery life was shit. I mean, I'm glad to see that they finally figured that out, but still, like I just wouldn't risk it. It's too much money.
It's a lot of money, especially when you add a camera too.
Yeah, you add a camera to it, you know, you're probably floating along the lines of $16,000, and I think that there's better options out there at that point for the price. I think you can find something so much better. It's weird, man. Like, I didn't even give it much attention. I know people were like, "Oh, the Sony's brought the Air Peak." Who cares? They've been bringing the Air Peak. They've been bringing the Air Peak to all these events, and they haven't let anybody fly it. They haven't let anybody truly review it. And that honestly should be red flag number one right there. Like, you're not letting people fly it. You're not letting people review it. Something must be up. No other explanation. No other explanation whatsoever. So, yeah. So Air Peak was there. Other than that, that was CES in a nutshell, man. That was really it.
Sounded like it wasn't much.
No,
like it wasn't much.
You know, right from the jump, it was not a good trip. It was right before I even got to Vegas. There was already shit happening that I was just like, if I could have got back off the plane, if I knew what I knew now and got back off the plane, I would have got back off the plane and went home and just got work done. So when we were getting ready to leave, the flight was delayed like 2 hours. So in that process, I had to change the rental car because they won't hold your rental car but like an hour. So I had to change the rental car. So I lost the initial rental car that we did. I had a really good deal on that Tesla. I think it was like $300 or something like that. And I lost that deal because I had to make a change. We ended up getting a Shelby, which I really didn't want a Shelby. I didn't care. It was just something that they offered, so I took it. But I mean, it's not like we beat the living hell out of it. It's not like we used it like we could have. I never rent a car when I go to Vegas. I like when I go to Vegas for CES, let me put it that way. When there is a major event in town, I usually don't rent a car because trying to navigate and park and everything, it's just a mess. The only benefit was that it let me get away from the strip for a little bit of time to go fly somewhere. That would be the only reason why I would rent a car. But I think in the future, I'm going back to my rule where I will not rent a car in Vegas because it just doesn't make sense from one, a financial standpoint, and two, it's just a mess trying to park anywhere on the strip. It's just an absolute freaking mess trying to park. Some places charge for parking. Some places don't charge for parking. You just never, ever know who does and who doesn't. So for that reason, I just won't, use it. CBC Anonymous says, got to be the Bamboo Carbon X1 printer. Actually, it's the Bamboo P1P. It's pretty loud. And it's loud because it's freaking flying.
He knows his printers based on
he
the
knows
sound.
his printer. Yeah, he knows his printers. I'll give him that. So, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't thrilled about that. So, yeah.
So yeah, CES wrapped up for the books.
Yeah, that's it. Done. I think I will go to NAB though. I'm gonna go to NAB. I'm gonna go to NAB. The only reason why I'm going to go to NAB is because I think that's going to pertain more to cameras, possibly more to drones. We don't know if DJI will be banned from NAB. So the big question was, where was DJI at CES? And DJI was banned from CES. CETA,
I heard.
the Consumer Electronics Trade Association, essentially banned DJI from the event because of the human rights violations against them in China, associated to the Chinese government. So that was a big deal that they weren't there. And it was definitely their presence missing was definitely felt. Like, you definitely felt like there was a hole in the show. And that's to say that there was a lot of companies that just didn't feel like, yes, it was the first full year back after the pandemic, but you just felt like there was just something missing from the show. Like it lacked a little bit of energy or something. So I don't know. Just felt weird. Just felt weird. So, all right. Let's move on. We're talking about the air unit, air unit update. So DJI during the week at CES, they ended up updating the air units. The air unit update brings in a plethora of new fixes, along with D-Cine-like recording in 10-bit. They did put out some bug fixes. I know a lot of people were curious about the bug fixes surrounding the RC. So essentially now, if you are flying this and you are flying it without a dual band antenna, it will still operate like it normally should, instead of just shutting down if it looks for 2.4 and 2.4 is not there. I mean, should they have done this from the get-go? I don't know. I think they intended these to be used with their antennas. I don't think they essentially thought people would just be popping anything on there and still trying to use the RC. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something that should have been done from the beginning. Like, why handicap the air unit?
Yeah, that's my thing, is like, why not put the best foot forward right out of the gate? I had a lot of messages from people like, oh, see, they fixed it. I told you that was the problem with your iFlight. No, that wasn't the problem with the iFlight. That was not the problem with the iFlight. And even iFlight, in the final message from Lynn, she verified that. I mean, she even said, we have checked the log file. Signal was normal before 2 minutes and 5 seconds, but after 2:06, the air unit has no signal instantly. It might be because the air unit was down or powered off. So that was what right.
That was strange. What happened to you?
It was like that.
You have full HD, full radio. Then out of nowhere, you just drop.
Right, exactly. So they're believing it was a power issue, not necessarily this specific issue here. But it's funny. I did talk to a friend of mine, Don, who works with Pilot Institute, and he was having some problems with a long-range quadcopter. Adrian Doko, $9.99 super chat. Hope to see you all at the Texas Drone Workshop in Houston, February 18th and 19th. Texas Drone Workshop. Eddie, did you know anything about that?
I did not.
Texas Drone Workshop. Let me look that up, dude. Let me look it up. Let me see. Texas Drone Workshop. I'm not really sure.
I found it. It says an immersive 2-day drone experience, Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I'm on it right now. I've got it on the page. You can't see it though. Professional perspectives, practical insight, unique format. Oh, look at that. I'm a speaker. Did he approve me for this?
I didn't want to mention that because I'm like, I see you on there.
I'm on there. So we got Russell White, we got Kenji, Nate, Jared, the Mad Mapper, Vic Moss is going to be there, John McBride. So we got an all-star crew here. Got an all-star crew. I need to give him a new photo. This is the old photo. I gotta get him I gotta give him a new photo. So anyways, this is happening Saturday and Sunday. It's a hands-on class. So one day in person in class, and then the second day it's hands-on, basically in the field, actually doing whatever it is that you were learning. And obviously with this many speakers, you can choose to go off into a bunch of different directions. I'll tell you, last year when we did this course, it was pretty awesome. because basically day one is listening to everybody pitch you on what you should do with your drone. And then on day two, you have to decide which way you want to go. Do you want to do cinematography? Do you want to do real estate? Do you want to learn about mapping? And then you go off with your instructor and you learn about that. Now, I will tell you that if you're wanting to learn things from a real estate perspective in 2 days, this is the easiest class to do it because we can get you a lot of that knowledge, a lot of that information in 2 days. So check it out. If you're in or near the Texas area, I highly recommend you check it out. It was an awesome class. A lot of positive feedback last year. It's not so much a hangout. It's not a hangout. It's truly just
like
2 days of nonstop learning, a lot of information, like wham bam. So yeah. So it was a damn good class last year. So where were we? We were talking about the DJI O3 Air Unit. Update.
So you said that if it solved there was some bug fixes where it no longer will fail safe you if you lose one or the other.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
But what they say and what it does, I mean, I don't know. It's always two different things. I'm looking for the the official change log here.
I know they added frame rates, right? So you can do like 4K 30, which on an FPV drone, I can see the benefit, just like the Avata. If you're wanting to use the camera as your final product, you're not attaching a GoPro. But I mean, like, I can't imagine a 5-inch at 4K 30.
Yeah,
like, you can't see anything.
So this is an old release note. That's an old release note. Shit. I'm looking for the new release notes, actually. I was trying to find it. Why do they make it so hard to find the release notes? I don't know. I don't understand why it's so hard to get just a release note on this version. So here it is. Actually, this is the release note. So
I found it. You got it?
I found it. Yeah. Okay. Took me a second here. Okay, so here's the release notes for the latest firmware. So it added 4K 30, 2.7K 30, which we had, 1080p, 30 FPS. That's when used with the goggles too. 4K at 120 frames per second, which is pretty crazy. 2.7K at 120 frames per second, 1080p at 120 frames per second. Added the ability to go into advanced camera settings. So you got low power state. Now is set to 6 seconds. Improved the D-Cinelike to 10-bit. That's pretty awesome. Optimize the camera exposure in some backlighting scenarios. That was actually one of my bigger complaints, was in backlit situations, it just didn't know how to compensate, like where the GoPro would do an amazing job, this would not. Optimize the remote control signal in some scenarios. That's pretty vague, but obviously Mads Tech did a awesome video on that. So yeah, I mean, that's a huge update. It's great to see that they put out some features that we wanted. I mean, I've honestly been using this as a camera as well. Like, I've been flying in 16:9, which I never fly 16:9, but I've actually been pushing myself to fly 16:9 to use this, so I don't have to use essentially a GoPro if I don't want to. I can get away with just using the onboard recording, which I think works fine. And the footage looks good enough for what we are essentially doing with it, so I don't see the problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not terrible, man. Good update.
I mean, I like the 10-bit. I like the fix for the backlight, because I think that's one area where DJI cams overall, like action cams, right? They always suffered in that. I feel like the Avata suffered in that initially.
The Avata suffered
FPV drone, the action, the little action, the square cubes, the cube cameras, they suffered in that as well. So it's good to see them doing, firmware updates on the Air unit that's going to continue to improve. The frame rate is an interesting one. I mean, could you get away flying at 4K 30? Yeah, but you definitely can't be going at you have to keep a low angle pitch. You can't go fast in that, 'cause you can't see
it gets too blurry, like very quick. It gets super blurry.
It actually,
I mean, I don't know.
I never got motion sickness with FPV ever. You know how some people do?
Yeah.
I did get motion sickness when I tried 4K 30 on the Avata.
Really?
Yeah, I felt sick. I felt like I was dizzy. Like I felt like I lost my
Yeah,
orientation.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I never sit down when I fly, but I found myself having to sit down flying at 30 frames per second. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because everything's seemingly moving quicker. If you even take a step forward or backwards, you can sort of lose your balance a little bit, which is sort of wild. I forgot where I was one year. Oh, you know what it was? We were in Colorado flying at spin down, and it was Sully. My friend Sully was with us, and he was flying, and he was doing that wide stance. And because you're up there and the altitude is messing with you and anything. And he took a step forward as he was diving down this ridge, and all you see him do is like do this gangster lean, and he's gangster leaning like, and we had to catch him, and somehow he did not crash his drone, and he fell into Brad Alston, and I was like, holy crap. And he's like, yeah, he goes, I just got all squirrely, man. He goes, just the altitude. But yeah, the altitude will do that to you. I mean, that was wild, man. I was sick, man. I was sick watching him fall like that. I was like, oh, he's going over. There's the leaning tower of FPV just going over.
There's some, if you love to people watch, you got to people watch like people that are flying FPV because
100%. I'm entertaining to watch
like
because
you do the head thing. I've always had you like doing the head thing.
I call it the Stevie Wonder because I'm like, and you don't feel yourself doing it.
No.
But I get video every time I'm out in a group flight. People will send me videos of myself doing that, and it's just the funniest thing because I get like really leaning and I'm like really into it.
I did some funny stuff recently flying FPV. I was hitting a gap, but I came in too high.
Yeah.
I actually squatted down with my remote. I was thinking I was gonna lower my altitude by decreasing my. So I actually was like, oh shit, and I squatted down.
Eddie thought that was VR.
Yeah. It's just natural instinct. Listen, like when you're flying, you're going that fast, like your body just reacts, right?
That's funny, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been there, dude. Can you imagine the day they make these where make it to where our RCs have like some form of control to where if you move it left or right, like sort of like a motion controller.
Yeah.
I say wait till the day. We already have it with the FPV drone, the Wanker. But still, like I'm saying more at a hobbyist type level, I think would sort of be pretty funny. I mean, I've done that though. I've done that. Like I've moved the remote thinking it's like a video game. You do that when you play a video game. You move the remote like way back here. Like know darn well it's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny, man. Steve B-Man said he's got video proof of me in that gangster lean. Yeah, I mean, I've been there. It's pretty wild, man. Have some sensors on your hips and joints. Yeah, I could see that, man. I could definitely see that happening. I did finally I did order this foam. Have you seen this foam? The Pyro drone has it. Anyways, it Velcros onto here.
Is it better?
And I don't think so. My problem is it still feels uncomfortable on the face. The nose is still uncomfortable. It does help with the light leaks a little bit, but I don't know if I like it because it's got to be double-sided glued Velcro to here. And the Velcro that they give you is not very good for this. Like it's just, I feel like there could be a better solution. This is an okay solution, but it's not good. The other thing is you can't use the screen protector that they give you. And if you want the screen protector, you have to buy that separately. I don't know. I mean, it's the only option we have as of right now. I'm working on foam, but I will tell you, foam it's like there's so many different densities, there's so many different types, and then you got to get the concaves right. It's taking me a little while. We're on like iteration number 7 right now. At first I thought, oh, we'll develop shims, but shims pose different problems when it comes to light leaks. While we fixed one problem, it created another problem. So I have to, we have to like fix things as we see them. So now I'm just focused on a foam solution, which I think the foam solution that we are working on now is going to be the winner. Hopefully we'll have something very soon to release, but as of right now, we're at revision like number 6 or 7. I think it's actually 7. And we're trying to find foam that doesn't hurt the face because the different densities will hurt they're hard. They're thick pieces of foam,
Yeah. And foam in like cold weather conditions tend to
Right.
get hard, and that will also
Yep.
impact.
And that's what was happening with some of the materials. Like, so we built, obviously the jock straps that we developed. One downside to the jock straps is in extreme cold environments, they would snap easier than normal. It's plastic. Like, at the end of the day, plastics will become more brittle in colder environments. So it's something to be mindful of. And that goes for any type of plastic, PLA, PETG, ABS. They're going to get cold. They're going to snap in super cold weather. I'm talking like, sub 20 degrees. That's when you really have to start worrying about issues with plastics. And that even goes for our drones too. You're flying in these extreme cold temperatures. Plastic becomes more brittle, especially on impact. So you got to be more mindful of that. So it's something I've had to, educate people that are purchasing products like, hey, I see that you're in the freaking Arctic North. Just be mindful. Be mindful. That's all I could say. Got to lay down that groundwork that something could happen. So, B-Man said he was flying in 37-degree weathers. I was blowing up props like shattering. Yeah, absolutely. You're spinning super fast. They're super cold. They're frigid. I mean, that's why I always recommend, like, even when you're doing GoPro changes in the cold weather, bring your quad back into your car. Get that TPU warmed up before you go and swap your GoPro out, because otherwise you're going to be struggling. You're going to be cursing. It's just not fun. It's just definitely not fun. BJNM asked about, what about furniture foam? Funny you should say that. We are looking into it, but something else we had to be mindful of, because we're cutting foam with lasers and we're doing this in areas where it's pretty well ventilated, but we have to be careful of the fumes that is being emitted off the laser. So it's got to be eco-friendly too. So some of these foams are treated with like almost like a formaldehyde for preservation purposes. And once you hit that with a laser, now you have these toxic fumes that are out into the open. So there's a lot of things that you have to think about when you're starting to cut stuff with lasers. So that's what we're going through right now. It sucks. I wish I had better options out there, but I'm working with everything we have available. Competing with China is progressively difficult. It's funny. They sent me this cover. They sent me this, like, I don't know. Let me show you this cover they sent me.
Okay. China will rip you off of anything.
So this Chinese company that ripped me off, right? They ripped my ribbed riders off, but they just made a crap. They made a crappier version of the rib rider.
They sent you something?
So they messaged me and asked me if I wanted to review the product that they ripped off of me. This is how I know they have no idea who I am. So they asked me if I wanted to review the product that they ripped off of me. But first, they wanted to send me this little goggle condom. It goes over your stock foam, and it really serves no purpose. Like, it does nothing. It does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It's literally a goggle condom. I mean, there's nothing. You can't do anything with it. And she messaged me twice, and she says, and they start off super polite. They're such polite people. Like but they don't even know my name. Like, they can't even pronounce it, but her name is Nicole, and she works for this company called High RC. Anyways, she's like, oh, I sent this condom out to you 3 weeks ago. Do you have review video? And I started typing this email, and the email started off really, I mean, it was vicious, dude. It was super like, it was probably, and I have the most time when I'm sitting there taking a crap in the morning. I have a lot of time. I'm dispelging the evil out of my body, and I'm typing this email. And I realized to myself that in 2023, I'm better. I'm going to rise higher above the responses. I'm no longer going to respond to these emails like this. I'm no longer going to respond to people like that. And then I realized, well, I already screwed up because it's already 2023, and I sent like 5 of these emails out to people. So then I responded to her, and I told her, I said, listen, I'm not going to review this. You guys blatantly ripped my designs off and somehow seemingly managed to make it crappier and less effective than what I made it. And then you send me this rubber condom. I've had Trojans that have been more protective than this. Like, literally, Trojan barely there condoms are more protective than this. They do more. They do more. I mean, this is pathetic. I've seen balloons that were thicker than this. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
Did they say what's the use for that? Like what benefit?
I don't know. If you don't want to catch the clap or something, if you borrowed somebody's goggles, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, other than it's just red and it looks cool. And the funniest thing is, I had worn these in a video I did, the Valador DC.
You wore them?
DC. I wore this in a video just to see what they would do. And you know, the funniest thing about people is they notice everything. Like, you make something red and they're like, "Hey, what's that? Is that new? Is that what is that? Is that new?" They notice. I'm like, I didn't say anything about this. Just they just noticed that they were on the goggles, like, "Oh, it's new. It's got to be something effective." These are pieces of crap. Don't waste your money on this. After this video is done, I'm going to send Nicole. This as well, over there at Hey RC, because I'm sure she's in the same building as iFlight. So Nicole, you can let your boss know. Chanida, Nicole. So there will not be a review. There will not be a video. I'm not reviewing. Do you want me to send you the $7.99 or what is your cost on this, Nicole? Is it $7.99? I will send you the $7.99 because apparently your company needs it more than I do. I'll send you the $7.99. I'll send it via DHS or DHL. What is it? DHL? What delivers internationally? DHL. I'll send you a cashier's check for $7.99. Scratch your ass. I'm not reviewing it. Not reviewing it. Like, that's bullshit. We're not reviewing that. We're not reviewing that. And they keep hitting people up. That's the thing, is they don't do any research on anybody. They don't know. And it's all the same generic email. "We really fall in love with your content.
Yes.
We want cooperation." You don't know who I am. If you knew, you wouldn't be reaching out in the first place. Yeah. I'm waiting for companies to wake up. Like, stop reaching out to me. I don't want to review your piece of crap products that you probably can buy at Big Lots in 2 years, as seen on TV. I don't care. I don't want your product. I genuinely don't care. For now on, the only thing I want to review is this crap that I'll actually buy. Like, if I'm going to really buy something, like I bought the new DJI gimbal because I really like that. I'll probably really do a review on that because I really do like gimbals. I like camera tech like that. I'll do a review, but I don't want to review something just because they send it to me because I don't like being obligated. Like, I've got EcoFlow. This is the best thing, bro.
You've never made that video yet, right?
I never made that video yet.
Oh my God.
I'm at CES
and they're there,
and EcoFlow is there. And lo and behold, would you imagine, the lady that I've been emailing sees me.
There.
We make eye contact, and I'm sitting there like they're right behind Autel. She makes eye contact for me, and it was like the Cupid shuffle, bro. It was like, I was like, no. I'm like trying to, and I could see her still beelining towards me. I'm like, shit, she is gonna get me. And I'm shuffling between people. I'm bobbing and weaving, and I'm looking. I hide behind this other vendor, and there she goes. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gone, and I'm gone. And she's like this tall. She's like this tall. And then I feel this little tap in my middle of my back, and I'm looking around. I'm like. And I'm not a tall person, but I look down, and there she is, like a little troll, and she's looking up. "Oh, you no make the video, but you're here." I said, "Yes, I'm here. And you're here too. That's amazing. When is the video coming?" The video, I don't know, to be continued. And at that immediate moment, I literally freaking ran. I ran.
I'm surprised she didn't give you an EcoFlow there. She's like, "Here, make video now."
I've never ran so fast from a vendor in my life. And the rest of the event, when I saw EcoFlow, I literally took like at least a 20-foot perimeter around there. So I'm waiting for that email. She's probably not back in China yet because they have this whole COVID protocol that they have to follow. But that's going to be an interesting conversation. I'm going to try to incorporate that into the video. It's a freaking battery bank. It's a battery bank. What do you want me to say? Eddie, I don't even know where I put it. Shoot.
Well, it'll be somewhere.
Oh no, I found it. Can I get away with just doing like a quick ad spot now? Would that be acceptable, Eddie? Would that be that would be acceptable. Let's do an ad spot, Eddie.
I think they'll want you to mention like the features of it, the application.
I want to start this New Year's off right, Eddie. I really do. I want to try to make a good impression. So there's a quick ad spot. This is the EcoFlow River. It's the smallest battery bank that you can possibly get right now on the market. It's absolutely amazing. It can charge a lot of different things. It's It's amazing. It's 256 watt hours. You can press this button. You can turn it on. Oh, look at that beautiful screen. It's not a color screen like some of them I saw, but that's okay. Right now we have 99 hours that we could try. It's at 0% because I haven't charged it, but it's got the AC, DC. It's amazing. Go buy it.
USB-C, USB.
There we go. It's got USB-C, USB-A, USB. I mean, it's pretty. I'm not gonna lie, it's not bad. It's just not one of those things that interests me enough to make a 1 hour long video sitting there jerking off the extension cord that came with this charging thing. Like some people, they'll make video. Like I'm not knocking the creators that make these because they want a lot of battery banks. But how many battery banks do you need as a creator? How many of these battery banks do you need? How many of you see a battery bank video, see one of these power videos and get like an instant hard on? You say, yes, I'm so glad he made that video. Woo! How many of you get super excited when you see in the thumbnail EcoFlow, Jackery, Ugreen? Do you get a hard on for battery bank videos? If you get a hard on for battery bank videos, give me a hell yeah. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't get a hard on. Like it's one of these things like I want it. But I'm not. Yeah. I don't want to film it. I don't want to film it. Like I don't know what to say. It's a battery bank. It charges shit.
And you don't need many of them.
You don't need many of them. Some of these guys got more battery banks than freaking their local power company.
That shit is a fucking explosion waiting to happen, right? Those batteries fucking explode.
They are. I mean, if this one of these things go, I mean, we got a serious problem on our hands. I did a lot of gummies in Vegas. I mean, I was smashed, dude. Smashed. I don't know what this year is going to hold for this channel, Eddie. I don't know. It's off the rails. I've decided two things though. I've had a realization. When I was in the desert, I had a gummy. I had a realization. I had to come to. I had an epiphany. Yes, I had an epiphany, and I realized that the easiest way. No, I don't know. I don't even know. But I had an epiphany about the channel. I said to myself, I'm hitting a brick wall here. I've realized two things. Either people hate me or they like me. There's no in between. There's no middle gray area. You have somebody, they will instantly hear me and they're like, yep, don't like that guy. I hate that guy. I hate that guy. They don't even know me. Then you have some people who are like, yep, I like this guy. I like assholes. I like this guy. And then you have the people that fall in the middle where they're just so disgusted possibly that they don't even know what to say. They have no emotion whatsoever. So how do we convert those people in the middle, Eddie, to be a part of the asshole army? I have no idea, but what we need to do is we need a massive formula, but we're not going to get there by reviewing battery packs. We're not going to get there by reviewing battery packs. I've had a lot of realizations this past week. Like people who I thought were my sworn enemies turn out to be my absolute best friends. It's absolutely the weirdest thing, man. Weirdest thing. I'm growing, and we're just doing it all. We're doing it all. But no, seriously though, I want to say Friday night was probably the worst night I had in Las Vegas, Eddie.
Why
you
was
weren't
that?
around. I had about 30 milligrams of THC. I had a bot grinder moment, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for somebody that never does any sort of gummies or anything, I said, well, I'll have one. And I had another. And then I had another one. And Lon looks at me. He goes, you all right? I said, I'm fine, dude. I'm good. We go to dinner with Bobby from Skybrows and Jeff, and we're sitting there at this, it's called the Night Market in the Virgin Hotel and Casino. And I'm sitting there having this out of body experience, dude. I am just like, not really there. Like I'm here and no, I wasn't even sweating. No, I'm just like, I couldn't even eat my chicken freaking pad thai. Like I did not feel like eating chicken. I love chicken pad thai, but I could not eat the fucking chicken pad thai to save my life. I could not eat that chicken pad thai. And I kept saying to Lon, I said, what does this look like on the outside? He goes, honestly, he goes, you're holding it together very, very well. He goes, I couldn't tell awesome there's anything. I said, because on the inside, I feel like everything is falling apart right now, man. He's like, go to the bathroom, dude. He goes, go to the bathroom, splash your face with some water, come back. That did not help anything, dude. That just did not. And I mean, oh, that was as
man.
bad as low as the weekend got right there. I tell you what, man. But other than that, that was pretty much that. And somehow in the interim of that, this is how stupid I am. And nobody monitored me. I go to Rio and I place a bet against the Las Vegas Knights, the Golden Knights, to lose the next day on hockey, which I never sports bet. Apparently I do this in the interim. I don't realize this. I said the next morning I wake up, I have this sports bet in my pocket. I'm like, shit. So then I realize, oh, we got to go to this game. We have to go to this game. I need to see the Knights lose now for this game to work. And the Vegas Knights freaking lose. I guarantee you there was nobody that was more excited in that arena than I was.
Oh, man.
Lon says that was Jeff I was talking to, not him. I swore it was Lon. I don't even know who was who. Oh, it was an experience. It was a feeling. Oh, and then we go back and play virtual reality. We played VR in the hotel room. I about broke a lamp twice.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Whew. That was man. I tell you what, those were the days. That was man. Back in the day, man. That was back in the day, like last week.
Life experiences.
Life experiences, man. That was. I'm telling you what, man. So I'm gonna try to be better next week, though. We're gonna try to just do better. We're gonna do better. We're not gonna be that person anymore. So this
still early enough in the year to make a change.
Yeah, I don't think we screwed up enough of anything, man. I don't think we screwed up enough of anything. You know, my biggest concern is yeah, I don't know. So Lon and I at the end of the trip, we were getting on each other's nerves. Like we were like a married couple. Towards the end of the trip, like he would we would just have these moments where I felt like we were a couple or something, because he would go in the grocery store, go into 7-Eleven, buy all this cool shit, and not even say, hey man, can I get you a drink? And I'm like, I'm sitting there in the passenger seat, like, he got all these cool snacks, and I got nothing.
He kept it all to himself?
All to himself. I was just
man.
like, this freaking guy. But then there was moments where he would be like, oh, hey, you want something? You want this? And I'm like, sure, okay. I don't know. It's a give and take, man, a give and take. So apparently I've made him travel enough at this point in juncture. I've made him travel enough. So the next trip that I take is going to have to be up to his neck of the woods. So that's where it's at. Because I keep making him travel. I can't make him travel any further. So I have to travel to him. I'll meet him halfway. Lon, you could have still gave me a drink, damn it. He's like, you were driving. You could have gave me a drink. Fuck, man.
Where does Lon live? What state?
Lon is in Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Okay.
Lon is in Michigan. And did I tell you, this is the other thing too that made me nervous. So we're leaving Vegas. I'm thinking everything's good. I've got these gummies in my bag. Now, technically you're not supposed to fly. You're not supposed to take things from places and stuff. So I got these gummies in the bag. I get to TSA and like, there's this huge line. I'm like, the guy said, hey, where's TSA pre-check? He goes, oh, no, there's no pre-check. We got the canines running. And I was like, I was just like this.
Sweating.
I was just
You're
like
sweating.
this. I was just like, oh, really? Canines you're doing the canines today like that? He's like, yeah, why? I'm like, no, that's amazing. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, shit.
What do I do with this shit?
What do I do? So I'm like, all right, you know what? We're just going to go through. We're going to plead ignorance. If anything happens, we're just going to go straight through. We're going to walk. So I'm like, I have my backpack up. I have my suitcase like this. And I'm like, I'm walking through and I see the dog. He passes by the left side and everything's going slow motion now. The dog passes by. I'm like, okay, here's my move. I have to go to the right. So I slide my suitcase to the right. The dog goes left, jukes me entirely. The dog doubles back to sniff the lady behind me. And I go through the gate. And it was like, I was just you hear the music, like you hear like that holy music, like a touchdown. Yeah. And I'm just like,
Fucking made it.
yeah, I was like, and when the idea is when you go through TSA, you got to go to the person that's going to be most favorable to you. So you look at all the TSA agents, and I looked and I'm like, okay, she looks like a Karen having a really bad day. She's going to make my day bad. This guy looks like he's loving life and he's just so I'm like, I'm going to him. So it was, that's how you go. That's TSA 101. So I was just like, phew. So we were finally on the plane, and it was like as soon as it was liftoff, I was like, all right, that's it, it's over, that's it. That was it. That was the best part of Vegas was leaving Vegas, I think.
And you made it home with souvenirs.
We made it home with souvenirs for everybody. Everybody was happy, and now we're here. And the week is just blowing by. The week is blowing by, dude.
I'm just going by so fast.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. PP going to be looking for you next time. Maybe. Yep, maybe. We'll never know. And then I found out they don't actually smell, apparently. I didn't realize that. Kyle Watts in the chat. Hello, Mr. Watts.
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
We're going to be somewhere in April, but I'm not going to say where because I don't want somebody to know where we're going to be in April, but I'm going to be somewhere in April where he's going to be in April, but we're not saying where we're going to be because we don't want that person we don't want a clinger. So
can I take a guess?
Nope, don't say it. I don't even want to say it. Don't even jinx it. Don't even jinx it. Don't even jinx it. Eddie, don't even jinx it. I know you already know, but you're not going to say it because don't say it because we don't want to jinx it. We don't want to jinx it.
Got it.
Yeah, we don't do that. So, all right. Well, I think if we end it here, I
this
can
one
go.
Can stay up.
I know, but what I can do is I can do two things. My wife texted me and she says to me, because I'm still on the shit list right now. I could use a bottle of Coke or bottled water or chocolate milk. So if I get all three of those things, if I just,
you're a hero.
I'm a hero. I have a chance to be a hero. Right now, I'm still the villain in my family. So I'm thinking if I end the stream right now, I can be a hero at a very minimal cost. I think I'm going to take this opportunity because opportunity never knocks twice. Eddie, do you have anything else for us tonight? You've been very, very contributive tonight. I appreciate you, Eddie. You're the best.
No, I don't have anything. Until next time, next week.
Until next week. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you made it this far. Join the asshole army if you want to become. We're changing it from Brew Crew to $$ whole army. I don't know how long YouTube will let that go for, but you can be a part of the asshole army for pennies a day. I don't know. You wear it like a badge of armor. All right. Till next time, stay original.
Maybe I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. 'Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusionary reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings.
That is it, my friend.
Great stream, bro.
That was a good stream. That was a good stream.
Yeah, this was a fantastic.
You know what? And we didn't break anything. I don't think we ruined it. Yes, we had one or two curse words in there per the YouTube policy. It wasn't within 8 seconds and it wasn't continuous throughout the entire stream. So I think we're going to be okay from that perspective.
Yeah, you cut right through.
I mean, I think we just cut right through. I mean, honestly, you just can't ask for a better stream, Eddie.
Yeah.
Good interaction. You were on point. What do you got going on there?
I'm trying to remove blackheads and boogers at the same time. This is a new technology I got from Amazon.
What does that do, though? How does it remove blackheads and boogers at the same time?
Well, the boogers gets like adhesive through these white things.
Okay.
And then it's letting off heat, which eventually you should start seeing like little black things coming out.
So there's heat going through your nostrils?
Yeah, apparently that's what this is doing.
What is this thing called?
I don't know. It's China made. So I'll send you the link. They sent it to me, actually. Cooperation.
Oh,
I got
okay.
it. Yeah, I got it. Because we're interested in your videos. I see you got some facial discrepancies on your face. Would you like to cooperate? And I say, yeah.
So
Just,
let me get
do
this
it.
straight. It creates heat that goes through your. How is that even safe? How is that even breathable?
I don't know. I had to charge it via micro USB. That's like I'm gonna make a video about it, and that's my thing. It's like in 2023, you shouldn't have micro USB. It should be USB C.
Yeah,
But
USB
I'm
C.
just,
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I can't pull it out now. But if I pull it out, there's a micro USB on the other side here. I don't know if you can see.
It looks like you were at a party with Nick Nolte and Mike Tyson back in 1995, bro.
Oh
That's
man,
that's what it looks like from my end here. Looking at this, I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
oh God, Eddie. All right, well,
Feels good. It feels good though.
all right,
Feels
well.
really good.
Hey, if as long as it feels good, dude, I am not gonna be
Yeah.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd you go?
I'm here.
Oh, I didn't see you though. I thought you left.
Where would I go?
You look pretty messed up, Eddie.
You know, this Hennessy, this is not the cheap Hennessy. This is the the bottle. I think the bottle's downstairs. The VSOP, I think it's called. So I only had this much, but it feels good. And I had lunch at 12 and I haven't eaten since. So
You make
like
me
it's hitting
sick.
home.
This is like you are just on another level, Eddie, right now.
It's hitting home. And then this heat, it's like massaging my face right now, if that makes any sense.
I'm gonna go be a hero. I can't deal with you tonight, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna go finish this.